Well, welcome back everybody. On today's agenda, it's time I get my button gear on that wood rack. I'm not going to build it on this episode, but I've got to go down there and start clearing that area out around the wood rack that I just built so I can add on. So we're going to be chipping up some limbs, cutting the limbs, cutting a little bit of live oak firewood out of the way, and maybe doing a little bit of dirt leveling to make room for this new wood rack extension. Let's get started. All right, let me show y'all what the plan is here. As you can see, I am down at the wood rack, and I'm quickly learning that I don't have enough room at all. So I'm just finding more and more trees out in the woods, and I just hate to watch it rot. I want to use it, and if I keep finding as many trees as I am throughout the years from storm damage, etc., I may wind up building a whole entire another wood rack and sell a little bit of wood every year. Even though this is Florida, a lot of people burn wood recreationally, and a few people do actually heat their homes with it. So, heck, I might sell a little bit if I keep finding way more than we can use. So here's the plan. Got this big live oak limb that's in the way, and it's been bugging me forever because it's starting to grow so close to the pine trees over here. It's just getting tight driving by. So I'm going to take this whole limb out all the way up to the tree. I'm going to get some firewood out of it, and I'm going to chip all these limbs up. And this is going to allow me to add 2 more bays down here on the end of this wood rack. And my other plan is to come to this other side and add 2 more bays, whatever you want to call them, over here. That's why I went ahead and pushed all those roots up in a couple videos back. So I'll smooth this out a little. Might get to that today, might not. But the plan is to pretty much double my wood rack size. Plus, the nice thing is, I've always got a mess out front. So I got a lot more green wood to bring down here. I've got a couple more trees to cut, so that's all upcoming. So this area is going to stay full of firewood rounds and bark and junk like that. So once this limb is out of the way, I can pull the Ranger forward and back down 8 bays on my wood rack and pull wood right off the backside. Nice and clean area, nothing in the way. All this lighted right here, I'm going to wind up putting over here and eventually just have me a lighted pile over there. So I can grab my lighted, I can grab my wood off the backside, and I don't have to worry about all this junk that'll constantly stay in the front. So that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting some of these limbs up. And there's a couple more limbs down the way I may get to. I might not. But let's go ahead and get this cleaned up out of the way, and it'll give me a good visual on how I want to build this wood rack. All right, now I've got everything in a nice neat pile, trimmed up, ready to go for the chipper. However, if I haven't ever told y'all how much I hate vines, I'm telling you now, I hate vines. I got a horrible amount on the property. You can see they're just matted up everywhere. I really need to spend several days just going around the property cutting vines. They're killing my trees, and they make cleanup like this a nightmare. Limbs are hung all up in the vines, can't get them out. So I'm gonna go get the pole saw, trim up some of these vines so I can get these limbs busted loose. Plus, I've still got a couple limbs up here that I need to get down, and there's no way I can reach with a chainsaw. So let's go grab the pole saw real quick and run it down. This here's my steel pole pruner, and I've been meaning to do a review on it, but I've been holding off because coming up here before long, I am going to have a tremendous amount of limb clearing to start getting ready for our pasture fence build. And I figure I'm gonna have this in so many episodes then that I'll kind of show it off, talk about it, and let you know what I think about it. But today, we're just gonna put it to use on some vines and 1 or 2 limbs so I can get to chipping. Did I ever mention how much I hate vines? All right, now it's going to be about impossible to get all this apart. So I'm just going to have to work at it with the chainsaw, but there's so much vines, this stuff's just tied into a knot. Oh, Lord. That is nothing but a gigantic ball of vines. I am sick and tired of fighting with it. It's dangerous being in there with a chainsaw, cutting up all them vines anyway, so I ain't fighting with it no more. I've done got all the limbs out of there I think I'm gonna get. But I have an idea for that. mention I hate vines? Well, as usual, the old chipper made quick work of that. I'm left with pretty much bare ground. So still in love with that attachment. Probably my favorite tractor attachment I think I've ever bought. Love it. So as you can see, I'm getting me some fresh mulch there. I still have a lot of piles around the property that have already chipped that I have to go pick up. That should easily double this. And then I still have a tremendous amount more limbs to prune. So I expect this pile to get many, many times this size. I'm gonna go push this in the woods because this one's fighting me. It's nothing but a wad of vines I had over here. I'm not about to stick that in the chipper. So I'm just gonna shove it out there while I got the root rake. So I kind of went a little crazy. Vines had me in the mood and I pushed way further back than I was expecting to do. So what I'm gonna do now, probably not today, but coming up, I'm gonna find a safe way to cut the rest of that limb off. Don't really want to do it on a ladder. I might just cut it short with a pole saw and then come up with the tractor and push it off. Probably going to relocate that lighted pile over there, push and clean this up some more. So now I have a huge amount of new real estate here. So I didn't realize I was going to wind up with this much. So I'll bring the flail mower in, cut up all these raggedy vines, smooth this out. And now that I've got so much more room than I originally thought, I'm almost thinking I'm gonna do another 4 racks on this side and may still do another 2 the other side. So I might wind up with 10 total racks now. I'm thinking I might make kind of a I might not even bring it that way. I might run me a whole rack this way with 10 racks. So now that I've got all this room, it's really got me thinking. And I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to do a little bit of firewood on the side in the upcoming future. I'm trying to fill all this out and see if I'm going to wind up with way more than I can burn every year. And I do believe that's going to be the case. Especially if we wind up having hurricanes and severe thunderstorms. You know, that stuff's going to wind up on the ground regardless. Rather use it. I enjoy cutting firewood, enjoy doing this work. And if I can make me a few $100 a year, or $1,000 or $2,000 extra dollars, whatever it winds up being, that's great. That's some good side money. Well, I'm burning up, even though it feels great today. Worked for quite a few hours. We have yet another get-together to go to. I've had more get-togethers this year than I can remember in my life, and still have another one tomorrow. So that may cut me a little short on some videos, but as you've noticed, I'm starting to crank out videos more and more. I'm trying hard to make it at least every other day. I'm getting a little better with my editing, figuring a few tricks out, so it's making it a little easier to spend, you know, a few hours a day editing and getting these videos uploaded. So hopefully you're enjoying them. As I always say, I appreciate y'all watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks to all our new subscribers and the subscribers that's been around for the last few months. I appreciate the comments below. Enjoy talking to you. I'll catch you on the next video.